in our society today, how do you think that name, Lovers Day, has influenced our teenagers? Hi guys, welcome to YVIS First Talk Show. For those of you who are not familiar with YVIS is an acronym for Your Voice is Strength, a movement against child sexual abuse. Today we'll be discussing an important topic: teenage sex, Valentine, and parent role. My name is Chidera Precious and I'm your host for today. With me is a guest everybody wants to have on their show. He's a host, a certified relationship coach, and author of many books ranging from dating, broken, mom and dad. He is a serial entrepreneur and also a seasoned human resource manager. In the person of Ambassador Gabriel Onyema. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Good to be here.
So I'm going to start with asking you a few questions about your childhood, how you experienced Valentine, to set the pace so that we can understand what we are actually trying to achieve today. So the first question is, when was the first time you heard about Valentine? How did you hear about it? And what was the impression of Valentine you had growing up?
I heard about Valentine was as little as when I was a teenager, and I remember as little as I was, the concept I grew up with was about giving a gift to someone you admire.
Okay.
So for me, Valentine started as a time to gift exchange rather, at the time to tell this person, oh, I love you and I think I have this for you.
As much as we celebrate Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, did you ever celebrate Valentine in your family as a family celebration? Was there ever a time growing up that your family celebrated Valentine?
Okay, yeah, so I think there was one particular time we celebrated Valentine, and it was more or less, I remember my family just going out to get lunch and then coming back. We had this free time for you to watch anything you wanted to watch. So apart from that, major celebration were basically on Thanksgiving, on Christmas, and because the concept of Valentine growing up was more of the adolescent definition and perspective. So it was more of between you and your clique, between you and your classmate. So the family thing was really not there. It was at a very minimum rate.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is that gave you an impression that Valentine is supposed to be for adolescents, grown-ups, amongst cliques, among admirers and amongst friends.
Yeah, because when you only go to Valentine's Day with your family once or twice, and or almost every 14th of February you celebrate it with your clique, you celebrate it with your friends. So it gives you this expression that okay, not until recently we started having distribution of gifts in churches.
Did you ever receive Valentine gift from your parents? Like, Gabriel, this is for you, happy Valentine.
I do. Yeah.
What impression did it give you that your father gave you a Valentine gift? How did you feel? How did it make you feel?
Okay, I didn't know if it was my father that gave me that gift
Okay.
or who bought the gift. But I knew my parents just handed that over to me. It made me feel loved. It made me feel special. I felt good, and I felt Valentine really was the time to just. I was young at that stage, but looking back now, I think I was feeling excited. I was not really having any special feeling.
Okay, great. So that brings us to a very crucial question in today's discussion. Okay, so moving from that, from everything we've discussed right here, it's obvious that Valentine wasn't really a family thing for you. In as much as you were lucky, you had parents who showed you love to an extent. I mean, if you ask a number of people these questions, you might be surprised at the response you get. So, I'm sure, I don't think I need to ask this as a question. You've heard of the term, the alternative name for Valentine, Lover's Day. What's your impression about this name?
Well, the conception, like I said, and the history behind Valentine was more, when we were growing up, was more of a man who was in prison who had to communicate with his partner. So it was more of portraying it to be a lover's day. But we all know that if you are in love or you're in love with somebody, every day is Valentine. It's just a day mapped out to recognize this person and then to reaffirm the redefinition of love. It's not a day, it's a day also to remember. The key thing about 14th of February is to remember sacrifice. Sacrifice that will a sacrifice in a way that you have not felt before, you have not done before. For me, it's a time to renew your love towards your partner. So for you to say Valentine is a lover's day, what lover's day can be time to do something you love, time to show affection to someone you have not shown affection to for a long time. So personally for me, I feel yes and no. Yes, because it's a time for you to appreciate someone, and no, because it is not a personal celebration or a celebration that leads to someone personal. It's a time to celebrate love. Yeah.
It's not necessarily about romance, but it's about love. But now, in our society today, how do you think that name Lovers Day has influenced our teenagers? How do you think it has coined their impression of Valentine?
Now, present generation, a lot of misconception has scared up in Valentine. A lot of people have tagged Valentine to be the day you prove to love somebody. So everybody want to see how you can love the person. For me, I think our generation has changed Valentine to be prove me that you love me, or show to me how much you love me, and this end up very bad because most of the time they're asking you to prove to me you love me. The person is just saying, "Give me your body."
Exactly.
Lust is taking over the redefinition of Valentine. Valentine was geared towards a child. Valentine was geared towards something, special to him. He didn't want to lose this person, but he had to go. And that was the day he wrote the letter, he found the letter and all those things and all. So for me, the misconception in Valentine in our present generation, I think it started a long time ago. And so if we are going to correct it, everybody has to be involved. The parent has to be involved, the teachers in the school have to be involved. You who is in a relationship, you have to also be involved and understand that Valentine is a time where you remember the people in the hospital, you remember those in the orphanage homes, you remember your partner, to do something special for your partner. I mean, your partner has been making breakfast, has been making dinner. You could make breakfast. That's something special. It's just a day to do something out of the extraordinary.
What would you say that the failure of parents are in educating their children about Valentine? We've talked at length about that, right? So, do you think it's going to make sense for parents to take it upon themselves to buy their children gifts, take them out on Valentine's Day, just to make sure that they cover a gap, that their children are actually not missing out on anything on that particular day?
Yes. Basically, the only way parent can get it right is to always be there. I tell people, no matter how enriched or how expensive a school is, it can never take the place of a parent. So the best thing a parent can do is get your child a gift. Or understand, parents need to be open and be plain when it comes to love discussion, sexual education. The first place it started is from home. Valentine also gives parents, if parents are able to be sensitive enough, the opportunity to know the sexual understanding of your child.
Okay, so as we know, YVIS is basically about child sexual abuse, preventing child sexual abuse. And one thing people must know is that sexual abuse, especially when it comes to adolescents and children, is not necessarily forceful sex. It could also be how do I put this now? It could also be when a child is manipulated into sex, right? And you see that a lot of adult men and adult women use Valentine as an excuse to manipulate a lot of young children into sexual activities. So, how do parents actually tackle this? Now, we've talked about how they should make Valentine a worthy celebration with their children. How do we tackle sexual abuse around Valentine?
Now, the best part for me is ensure that your child understands that they own their body. Number two, avoid words like see your husband, my wife, caution your child. Every adult, I get irritated when I see an adult calling a child, oh, this is my wife. This is my what message are you passing? So you need to also caution. Number three, for a girl child, parents should teach their daughters how to hug, no matter who is involved. If it's their uncles, their relatives, it's not hugging fully, just aiming and you are done. So, and number three is let the child know that there are certain discussion. There's a limit to the discussion that they can go. Do you understand? There's a limit to the discussion they can go. And again, there's what do you call it? There's a limit to the places that they can go and time they can go with this particular person.
Okay. So finally, what decision have you made after this talk show about Valentine? Especially with regards to children.
Well, for me, I always have programs on Valentine's Day geared towards, impacting the knowledge of Valentine. This year, we're going to State for the conference, and the message is still the same: share love and not sex.
Interesting. Thank you so much. But before we wrap up, can you say something to the listeners out of the blue? Just say something that is not prompted by my question. Say something to parents, say something to children in the spirit of Valentine.
Well, every day is love. Every day is Valentine for you who are truly in love. February 14th is a day to appreciate someone and to renew your commitment to that person, not just to the person's body, but to the vision and mission of that person. So February 14th should be a day you evaluate, you evaluate yourself, evaluate your relationship, and ensure you are still relating with your partner. And also, don't forget the sick, don't forget the orphans. They also need love. Share love above all and no sex. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you all enjoyed this session. Like I said, he's a guest everybody wants to have on their show. What did we learn in general today? First thing, Valentine is not particularly about romance. It's about showing love to the sick. It's about showing love to the less loved. It's also about partnership. It's also about relationship. The second thing is that parents need to get their children involved in Valentine. Teach them, educate them, take it as an opportunity to talk to them about sex, love, and gifting. The third thing, show them love. Don't just say it, practice it. Take them out, buy them gifts, and do so much more. And the final thing we learned today, which is the very important thing about today's show, Valentine is about sharing love, not sex. Sex is not a way to prove your love, especially for teenagers, especially for people who are not married, who are outside the confines of marriage. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's been an amazing section. My name is Chidera Precious. I remain your host.
Thank you so much. I remain your guest.